Not at all. No one can stop me, I feel like the greatest. Don't say be humble, I patiently waited. All of this love and I ain't even made it. I got a plan for them niggas that hate it.
Make it out the hood, they say you Hollywood. How dare you niggas tell me that I got it good? Gotta check and treat a niggas like I'm Robin Hood. When it was time to stand up for me, see nobody stood. And I was looking at you niggas, all the ones I fed. Had me grinding all them nights when you was going to bed. And if you think I owe you something, nigga, go on ahead. Treat you like I never knew you, put it on your head. And I got Poppy on my line like
what's going on YouTube? What's going on, man? It's your boy CRizzy, and welcome back to another episode of CRizzy Take. First thing I like to do, I like to apologize for my video not coming out until midday yesterday, I think it was. I really underestimated how long it would take for that video to, you know, download onto my computer after I edited it, and then how long it took for it to process onto YouTube. All that and all took like an extra 6 hours, no cap. So that's what took so long. That's why it didn't come out when I wanted it to. I will make sure that this video is a lot shorter, and proof of that is I'm just gonna move on to the next thing. So I'm gonna talk today about the draft, the NBA draft. I'm gonna give me a quick mock draft. So what's gonna happen is I'm just gonna go into detail about what I think the first 10 picks will be. After the first 10 picks, I'll just put up on the screen what I think the next 20 picks and what I think the most interesting picks out of those last 20 picks will be. So we're gonna get right into it. But first, before I do that, remember, like, share, and subscribe, man. Hit that notification bell for me, and do me a favor, go into this description right now, click on 540 Talks, and please subscribe to the new page. All right, man, let's get right into it. For the number 1 pick, I think this is real simple, real easy. Zion Williamson. He's a huge athletic freak. He's 6'8", 280 pounds. And you know for a fact that he's a difference maker. Look at the games that Duke played when he was injured. Compare that to the games when he played. Night and day as a team. I have him being the number 1 pick overall, going to the New Orleans Pelicans. Next pick, Memphis Grizzlies. This one was clear even before the trade that happened before I recorded this video, which was Mike Conley getting traded to the Utah Jazz for Grayson Allen and some picks, I believe. There might have been another player in there. I don't have it on me right now, but I know for a fact Mike Conley is a Utah Jazz. And we didn't know for sure where he was going, but we knew he wasn't going to be there for long. It's clear that Memphis is ready to start over with pieces like Jaren Jackson, and now I feel it's going to be John Morant. John Morant, another athletic freak, a beast, a great point guard, can jump out the gym. John Morant is going to be the number 2 pick overall. Number 3 pick for the New York Knicks, RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett, I wouldn't say he disappointed, but some people coming into this past college basketball season said, if you think Zion Williams is good, you should see RJ Barrett. And RJ Barrett was good this year, but he wasn't, I think, as good as some people expected. Especially when Zion Williamson went down, I feel like a lot of people felt like that was his time to shine, and he didn't really shine in the way that many people were hoping for. But this is still a good player. He's a young player. I think he's only 19 years old. He's gonna shine in New York, especially if he can get a star player like Kevin Durant, who I know in my last video I said I predict is going to Los Angeles. I mean, it's going to stay in Golden State. However, I've heard reports in between that Monday and today that he's going to the East Coast. He doesn't plan on going back to the Bay this summer. So it's possible for New York that they get Kevin Durant and RJ Barrett. I know Kyrie's still most likely going to Brooklyn, but exciting. That's an exciting prospect if you're a New York Knicks fan right now. Going on to the number 4 pick in the draft. which will be held again by the New Orleans Pelicans. I know that there were rumors for a while that maybe the Washington Wizards would trade up for this pick. However, it's not looking that way. Recently, it appears that the Wizards would love to offer Bradley Beal a 3-year, $111 million deal, which, to be quite honest, surprised me, not because of I didn't know that we loved Bradley Beal. I knew that. I didn't know that we had the money to even offer him that. So I'm happy about that. Bradley Beal is a piece I think we should build around. He had one of his best years for sure with the injury to John Wall. But as for the New Orleans Pelicans, if they can't get Bradley Beal, what's the next best thing? To get a young shooting guard coming out of Texas Tech, I say Jarrett Culver is the next guy that the New Orleans Pelicans will select. I know he had a rough Final Four, especially getting guarded by who I think will be drafted next after him, but he's still a talented shooting guard and could be a future star in this league. Number 5, like I said before, Jarrett Culver's draft stock is still high, but it almost took a hit because of this man right here. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers select DeAndre Hunter coming out of UVA. He is now a national champion, and really he does it the whole Virginia way. He plays great defense, and he's a good scorer. You can see it right there on the screen, some of these plays he makes. He's an athletic burst of energy that the Cleveland Cavaliers could use with a guy like Colin Sexton. Him and Colin Sexton together could provide a steady future for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Moving on to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, I know for months were hoping that they could get Ja Morant in the draft. It does not appear that that is going to happen for them now, as obviously, like I said, the Memphis Grizzlies traded away Michael Conley, so they're for sure most likely going to take Ja Morant. And I know the Phoenix Suns need a point guard. They need a point guard, and people feel as though that Devin Booker is in a, hopeless situation. But if they draft Darius Garland, which is who I think they'll draft, they'll have a good point guard. They'll have Devin Booker, and you have a good center. You have 3 out of 5 decent pieces on your team. You should be able to build from there. I think the Suns are in an exciting position. If they can get Kelly Oubre back, that's another starter. They have 4 decent starters with this Darius Garland pick. Everybody's very high on Darius Garland. Some people have even been higher on Darius Garland than Ja Morant. The reason that many people don't know that much about Darius Garland is, of course, the injury that he suffered early in the year playing for Vanderbilt. But he's a great point guard, and he's an electric point guard, and he's going to be one of the better players in this draft. The Suns could be getting a steal, getting Darius Garland with the number 6 pick. And speaking of point guards, that moves me to the next pick. At number 7 from North Carolina, I think the Chicago Bulls take Kobe White. Obviously, I'm a little biased in my support for Kobe White. You see I have the North Carolina jersey on me today, but in reality, he's a great point guard. This is a guy that really helped himself coming into this year. Many people thought that he was going to be here for at least 2, maybe 3 years with his talent. However, he proved to be better than that. Not only is he not going to stay, he is good enough that he will be a top 10 draft pick. That's a great job by Kobe White. He was electrifying all year for the Tar Heels. I can definitely speak for it. I watched every game he played. A very electric, fast point guard, and Chicago should not be mad about this. I know that they feel like, they kind of got cheated out of the top 5 picks because of the way that the lottery went for them this year, and they wanted a Ja Morant, or they wanted a Darius Garland. I know that they were hoping that maybe they could finesse the draft and get the number 1 pick for Zion Williamson, but they should not be upset about getting Kobe White. Kobe White, extremely talented player. At number 8, now a lot of people may feel that this one's a little high, but in my personal opinion, this guy, this small forward, Nazir Little, is better than Cameron Reddish, whether you put him at small forward or you put him at power forward. And the Hawks, obviously trading away a guy like Taurean Prince, needs a guy like Nazir Little to come in and step up. I think he is a bigger, stronger version of Taurean Prince. He's not a consistent 3-point shooter, but he can shoot the 3. And even though he's not a consistent 3-point shooter, they have consistent 3-point shooters in Atlanta already. And guys like Trae Young and Kevin Huerter, I think I said his name correctly. I think with the number 8 pick, the Atlanta Hawks take Nazir Little. I think that's going to be the first, I wouldn't say surprise, because it's not like he's predicted to go low 20s. He's predicted to be a lottery pick, but I think he goes just a tad bit higher than people may think. I have Nazir Little at number 8. At number 9, I have my Washington Wizards selecting Cameron Reddish out of Duke. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm excited about that pick. I feel as though personally Cameron Reddish is slightly overrated. I don't think that he should be a top 10 pick, but everything I'm saying that he probably will be a top 10 pick. I think he's barely a lottery pick with the way he performed. I think there's several people that played better than him. I think players like Nazir Little, like I said before. I think Tyler Harrell out of Kentucky is a better player than him. I think Nickeil Alexander from Virginia Tech is better than him. I even think that Cameron Johnson out of North Carolina is better than him. I don't hate the guy. I don't have an issue with the guy. I hope he has a good career, obviously, for my Wizards if we wind up drafting him. But I think that he disappointed. I don't think that he is the player that many people thought that he would be. But Cameron Reddish will probably be on the board. If he is on the board for my Wizards to select, the Wizards will probably not resist. They probably will take him with the number 9 pick. I have him being selected with the number 9 pick overall. Moving on to the last in-depth draft pick, Jackson Hayes out of Texas. I feel as though that's a good, versatile player for the Atlanta Hawks to have. They already do have a center in Dwayne Dedmon, but his size is kind of bulky and more of a, I'll say, a prehistoric type center, whereas Jackson Hayes is faster, he can move better and beat you off the dribble, unlike a Dwayne Dedmon who's really just there for rebounds. And I think that that's pretty good for him. Now, I'm gonna put him up on the screen here. My next 20 draft picks, you can see him right there. I'll just read them down. At number 11, Roy Hachimura. Number 12, Goga Bidatsi. I'm pretty sure I butchered that name. Number 13, Sekil Doumbouya. Now, I've heard a lot about this kid. Obviously, never watched him before. He's not from America, but I've heard a lot of potential. I've heard him also get mocked earlier to the Wizards. The Wizards could snatch him up. A very interesting player. Obviously, foreign players are getting a lot more consideration, a lot more hype recently. And Sekil Doumbouya seems to be one of those players that is the darling, the overseas darling for this upcoming draft. At number 14, the Celtics at Tyler Harrell. Number 15, the Pistons taking PJ Washington. The Magic taking Nickeil Alexander Washington. Hawks taking Brandon Clark. Pacers taking Bol Bol. Bol Bol is one of the biggest question marks in this draft. A lot of people felt as though that if he would have played this year, that he could have been a top 10 pick, but he didn't play. Obviously, huge guy. I know he's well over 7 foot tall. The son of Manute Bol. Huge center. It's going to be exciting seeing this guy play. I can't wait to see this guy play. But the Pacers, I have the Pacers snatching him up at number 18. Number 19, and this is one of another sleeper player to me, and Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson from the University of Kentucky. I think this is going to be a very good shooting guard. One of the better shooting guards in the draft. I was surprised to see Tyler Harrell getting more consideration from scouts than Keldon Johnson. I really like Keldon Johnson this past year, but I do have him going to the Spurs. It just seems extremely Spurs. Obviously, a lot of reports out there about DeMar DeRozan possibly being shot this year by the Spurs. So who better to come into that position than a young player at that same position than Keldon Johnson? And closing out the last 10 picks, I had the Celtics taking Nick Claxton, Thunder taking Kevin Porter, Celtics taking Romeo Langford, Jazz taking Cameron Johnson from UNC. That's a good pick for the Utah Jazz. Trust me when I say that. I told you before, I think Cameron Johnson is very underrated because of the fact that he was a 4-year player. And 4-year players very rarely get love. And we know that nowadays, from around the mid-2000s till now, if you're a 4-year player, people wonder, well, why were you a 4-year player? But if you sleep on Cameron Johnson, he will burn you. 76ers, I'd have him taking Matisse Thybulle, and the Trailblazers, you see the name. I'm not going to try to butcher his name like that. Cavs, I have taken Ty Jerome. Nets, Eric Pascal. Warriors, Dylan Windler. If you don't know who that is, played for the Belmont Bruins. He's a shooter. Warriors. That's all that I should have to say about that. Spurs, Luka Semantic. And the Bucks, Bruno Fernandano from the University of Maryland. So that is my mock draft. Those are my 30 picks. You have any questions? You think that you disagree? You want to contest what I say? That's great. That's what they have a comment section for, and I don't block it off. So do me a favor, man. Comment on your opinion. Remember, like I said before, like, share, and subscribe to this video, man. I appreciate you for watching. I'm out. I'll see you next time.